25 years. 25 years. It's a long time to hate something for, but I like to think I'm a man of commitment, a man of focus, will. In many ways, the John Wick of terrible PlayStation 1 games. I know it says there's 3 minutes and 30 seconds left to go, but you know what? We can start whenever we want. It's our stream. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I'm sorry I've not been on Twitch for a while. No, what? I'm going to say that back. I'm not sorry I've not been on Twitch for a while at all. I've been busy. I've been mostly playing Deathtrap Dungeon. To be honest, that's the entire plan. So I finished the PlayStation 1 version. That took a while. Finished the PC version. I'm going to be honest, that took longer. Someone said, is it a new camera? It is not a new camera. It is better lighting. That's what it is. It is better lighting, apart from the fact that the lighting is above me, and I've got this weird double chin effect going on, despite the fact that's not actually true. It's like a weird shadow from where I wasn't shaving properly. See there, I should have shaved better there. People are going to look and go, oh, Josh, putting some weight on with the double chin. No, I'm going to the gym, getting butt. Thank you. Inju, thank you for asking how the gym's going. I'll tell you what, we're doing okay. See, we're getting a bit of muscle going on there. Give it a couple more months. A little bit more buffer, a bit bigger. That's what I want. I'm going to use the C. Thank you. This is the beard. It's not a double chin. It's just sit like that the entire time to make sure people can't say it. It's just a weird shaving thingy. But no, thank you. I am trying as hard as I can. See, I've got healthy drinks next to me. I'm putting on the protein. I'm cutting down the sugar. Some of you were expecting a Deathtrap Dungeon stream. No. Now it's a fitness stream. We're just going to talk about fitness the entire time. That's what we're going to discuss. We're going to discuss fitness, healthy lifestyles, caloric deficit, that kind of stuff. You know, we'll get some of the... I need Henry Cavill to be a little bit worried. Not a lot worried. You know, he's not going to wake up and be like, oh, no. Oh, Josh is here. He's going to wake up and be like, yeah, that's it. That's the level of worry that I need from Mr. Cavill. But I am glad, genuinely, that I have finally beaten Deathtrap Dungeon. It was a game I had as a kid that scared me. It genuinely did. And now I've beaten it. And I've realized that there's two things that make it very easy to beat. One is knowing how to play the game without fear. And the other is PlayStation emulator save states. Those two things have contributed a great deal to me being able to finish this. Now, here's the problem. I finished the PlayStation 1 version. Of course I use save states. Everyone would do it. It's an insanely hard game without it. And then I thought, you know what? I'm going to finish the PC version. Can't save state the PC version. That was really hard. That was legitimately very, very difficult. So, yeah, the PC version was nowhere near as fun. I did not enjoy doing that whatsoever. Right, Josh, just heard you say you're cutting down on the sugars, but what's your favourite sweet or drink? You know what? I am doing really good at zero sugar stuff right now. Like, not sponsored by Monster, but it's green. I didn't realise it was green. But the zero sugar stuff they do is pretty decent. I'll take that. So yeah, we're going with zero sugar stuff, man. I'm really cutting down. I'm really focusing. I'm trying so hard. We're going to have to make some good clips so Visa can... Yeah, Visa's been starving for the last week. I'll tell you why I haven't been Twitch streaming. The insane success of the Adventure Quest video from... if I've got some super cool stuff to share about the Adventure Quest thing. Artix Entertainment sent me a lovely gift for making that video. The video wasn't sponsored. I wasn't in contact with them. They didn't ask me to do anything, but to say thank you for what we did, they did send me something really cool, so I'll share that later. But the insane success of the Adventure Quest video, I know that Deathtrap Dungeon won't be able to follow that numbers-wise at all, but I wanted to do Deathtrap Dungeon for me. That was a personal thing that I just kind of wanted to achieve. That was... it was a childhood dream, desire. I wanted to push through on that. But I will definitely play Dragon Fable at some point. That's going to be a thing that happens. Apart from that, I'm not quite sure what's going to go next. It's October, isn't it? It's October now, which means the next game on the Was It Good is going to have to be a spooky game. And I'm thinking there's one of two choices. Either the original Alone in the Dark, which, let's be real, is terrible, or Nightmare Creatures on the PlayStation 1. Now, both of those are very hard games. And I'm thinking possibly Nightmare Creatures could be a good thing, because a lot of people have said to me, do Nightmare Creatures. So, I'll do that. No, the Adventure Quest video did so well, and the reason I've not been Twitch streaming is, quite honestly, keeping up with two YouTube channels for both the MMORPG and the retro games, it's a lot of work. Although in the Insomnia Festival in Birmingham went really well, and if any of you are in London in, I want to say 2 weeks' time for the European Games Expo, or EGX, I will be there Friday, Saturday and Sunday, and we'll be performing live Dungeons & Dragons on the stage on the Saturday, so I'm looking forward to that. You should do a collaboration with the guy. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, do you mean the guy who did the video for Hero Quest? Do you mean Bardic, is it Bardic Reviews? A cracking unboxing of Hero Quest. That is one of the internet's quintessential videos. I love that. It's time for a cracking unboxing. When he takes out all the bits and you've got to appreciate the broadsword. That is one of the classic YouTube videos. We all love that. Twisted Metal is already on the list. I have a long list of games to play, a very long list. But this is what I need your help with right now. I know, I'm streaming, I'm back. I'm not back, I'm just going to stream for a bit to feed Visa. Visa needs some food, that's what it is. So you guys have to ask me questions or bring up conversation topics that will allow us to go off on a tangent that creates a story interesting enough for Visa to clip it and then eat for a week. Because he's been on, I think he's running out of his jar of mayonnaise. He's very much running out of his jar of mayonnaise. Did I play Rule of Rose? I did not, but I can absolutely put it on the, thing. No sock count. It's been 2 months of macaroni only. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that, Visa. Let's read some Deathtrap Dungeon, because this is the actual original book that the game was based on, and the book is, from what I remember, incredibly difficult. So, you guys ready? Why is there like one bit of hair on my forehead that's like, no, I'm going to stay there. No, there we go. You guys ready? We're going to play a book. That's the level of Twitch stream we're at. Not reaction meta. No, not hot tub. Not walking around pranking people and getting shot. Oh no, not about that life. I'm going to read a book. All right, I'm going to go back to my millennial roots. That's what we're going to do. Deathtrap Dungeon is a fighting fantasy game book in which... I skipped a line. Fuck, we've already messed up. I skipped a line straight ahead. I didn't say an interactive adventure. Alright, reset your minds. Let's go back a couple of seconds. We'll try again. You guys ready? Deathtrap Dungeon. Stop it. I know a few of you are going, oh, he messed up. Shh. Let's take a moment. Let's cut. There's people outside talking. I haven't streamed for like a month, and now you choose the time to just sit and have a conversation on the street. You have houses. Just go in them. Like, of all the windows you could stand under to have the conversation, it has to be this one. You've had a month. Fine, right, back to this. Here we go. Deathtrap Dungeon is a fighting fantasy gamebook, an interactive adventure in which you are the hero. You can only win by choosing the correct path, finding equipment, avoiding traps, and surviving combat. You will need to be as wise as an owl and as cunning as a weasel to triumph over the challenges ahead of you. Before embarking on your adventure, you must determine your own strengths and weaknesses with a series of dice rolls. You have been preparing for your quest by training yourself in swordplay to improve your skill and exercising vigorously to build up your stamina. Before making your... The problem is that Deathtrap Dungeon has like a really overt BDSM-inspired advertising campaign. So if someone walked up to me dressed as Red Lotus is dressed in that, and she went, have you been practicing your swordplay to improve your skill, or maybe vigorously trying to improve your stamina? I'd look back and go, my safe word is apples. Let's do this. That's the kind of energy that I'm coming at this book with. Okay, not like that, but that's the kind of energy that I'm reading the book with. Let's just read the rest of the book. Stop it. There you go, Visa. There's your Christmas present. There's the clip. That's what we need. Everyone, why are the pages stuck together? Doesn't matter. Just ignore that. Let's carry on. Before making your rolls, you must choose from one of the 3 difficulty settings. This gamebook has been designed for optimum challenge on adventure difficulty. For newcomers to fighting fantasy, we recommend adventure or free read. For experienced readers already familiar with printed versions of this gamebook, we recommend hardcore hero. I'm going to go with adventure, alright? I think that's the best way to do it. Has anyone told me I look like Martin Freeman? No, I've not had that before. Is this the continuation of my lookalike saga? I've started with Richard Madden from Rob Stark, which I'm very happy with, I'll take that. Then we go to like Henry Cavill ordered from Temu. Then we go to Martin Freeman. This is what's happened now. Okay, so we've got that. Bananas are my kryptonite and apples are my safe word. The lore has been deepened. The deep JoshStrifeHayes lore. I'll give you another bit of lore. This mug, not even tea. It's sugar-free monster. Not sponsored, but would be. Someone out there, send me an email. Get me some free stuff. That'll do it. That'll make it... Look, I've got to stay awake for a long time, all right? Reading a book is challenging. It's not a reaction content where I can sit and watch somebody else read a book. I've got to actually read the book. This is difficult. This is true acting right here. Adventurer, play Deathtrap Dungeon exactly how Ian Livingstone designed it. Ian Livingstone designed it to be difficult and kill you. If we're playing it exactly how he designed it, we're going to die. You have chosen the Adventurer difficulty mode. If I ever meet Ian Livingstone, I'm just going to stare at him, just straight in the eye, and say, Ian, don't. And I'm going to walk off. That's it. Ian Livingstone, yeah, Ian Livingstone designed the game. He wrote the game book. He pretty much created Warhammer. So, yeah, huge nerd. Sir Ian Livingstone. Here's a weird thing that I've got. I realized this many years ago. If you are a Knight of the Realm or a Sir in the UK, you've obviously done something incredible, achievements that no mere mortal can achieve. You've either done incredibly well at sports or at science or at game design or something important, or maybe your family were just really rich and you happened to own a lot of land and the Queen went, there you go, there's a title. But do you know what responsibility that also entails? If you are a Sir or a Knight of the Realm, if England is ever invaded by a foreign power on English soil, the Knights of the Realm can still be called up to repel the invaders, to fight back. Think about this, though. If England gets invaded by a foreign force, or even an extraterrestrial force, when you say, oh, call up the Knights of the Realm, you picture people walking forward in like plate mail or, riding forward on horses with incredible lances, ready to defend. No. We would have David Attenborough running at them screaming, narrating what he's doing. We'd have Ian Livingstone just madly throwing dice at them. We'd have Ian McKellen just screaming Shakespeare at them. We'd have Patrick Stewart running forward and commanding everyone to make it so. When you look at the actual Knights of the Realm that we have, I don't think they're an elite defense force. Or maybe I'm wrong, and Patrick Stewart would just run straight forward with a massive greatsword. Obviously, Ian Livingstone would use a Warhammer. That would make complete sense. If I just saw him running down and just smashing everyone out the way, I'm like, oh yeah, cool, that tracks. I see the wordplay that you're going there for, Ian. Touché, good job. But I do find it strange. I would love a film. Absolutely love. If I had unlimited money, I would make a comedy film about aliens invading the UK and every UK Sir having to be called up to fight and realizing that some of them are sports stars and would probably do quite well in combat, and some of them would not. But I think that'd be really funny. Ian McKellen would just start casting spells. You know what's amazing is Ian McKellen in The Lord of the Rings, whenever Gandalf casts a spell, that's not special effects. Turns out that during the auditions, Ian McKellen can just do that. That just happened. They didn't even realise. Ian McKellen didn't actually audition for the role of Gandalf. He just walked onto set halfway through the first day and started doing it. Turns out he'd already memorised the entire book and just knew how, just did that. And everyone was like, all right, cool, we'll go with this. It's true acting. He really did. Christopher Lee actually fell all the way off the tower onto the floor after getting stabbed just for that take. He got up, he was fine. He wasn't ready to die yet. Christopher Lee died when he wanted to. That was just the take. He got it, he went off. He went to make some kind of metal album, which is not even a joke. He literally did do that. Christopher Lee he features on, it's like his nephew's metal band album, something. There is a real thing. Yeah, it's a real thing. I'm just going to catch up with the chat right now. Gandalf is based on his exploits. It is. It really is. He just did that. I mean, Patrick Stewart, nobody told Patrick Stewart that he wasn't a starship captain halfway through like season 3 or 4 of Star Trek The Next Generation. In fact, I think it was around season 4 that they stopped actually writing scripts for that show and they just told Patrick Stewart the problem he was going to come up against in that episode. And the entire cast just improvised the entire episode from then on. And it worked. It was great. I mean, they stopped writing any scripts after season 3 or 4. And they went, you know what, you guys know your characters, you've got this. We'll just throw a Borg at you every now and again. That's how it works. Will I bring back the Tangent Tavern? Eventually, yes, I do want to. Right, let's do this. Before continuing, you must calculate your initial stamina. Your stamina score reflects your general constitution, your will to survive, your determination, and your overall fitness. Did you see the little flex there? I'm going to get some flexes every now and again. I'm hoping that by appearing in my videos more and more and more, eventually there's going to be like a tracked kind of visual. Like a year from now, people are going to look back on these videos and be like, ooh, you weren't weren't looking great. And then like a year from now, people will watch the modern videos and be like, oh yeah, he's looking good. That's the plan. Am I too white on your second monitor? I'm sorry, Zen. I was born a middle-class white boy. That is my cross to bear. Zen just commented, Josh is too white on my second monitor. I'm sorry, Zen, but as a middle-class white man, obviously I've faced struggles my whole life. It's difficult. Sometimes my alarm clock doesn't go off. Sometimes I don't have the right sauce for my avocado and eggs on toast. We all have struggles, but we're all going to try and get through them. You must roll 2 dice and add 12 to the number rolled. I am being incredibly facetious, by the way. I understand I am in a ridiculously privileged position. Just put him on your third monitor. That'll show me. Okay, here we go. Roll stamina. As long as we don't roll double ones, we're pretty much fine. It's okay. Roll a 6 plus a base of 12 means stamina's 18. I'll take 18 stamina. Zara, thank you very much for all the gifted subs. That's remarkably kind of you. 18 stamina. Now we roll skill. Your skill reflects your swordsmanship and your skill at fighting. We want this to be pretty good. Oh, yeah, 5. I'll take 5. Base of 6. Skill's 11. Now you can still finish this entire book with low rolls, as long as you're lucky and you take the critical path. Now, here's the important moment. All of the choices in this book, you will vote on. I will not choose anything. There is a critical path of choices that you must make to complete this book. It is possible to complete the book without the items needed and die at the end. We've done that. I think we did that with City of Thieves. We got all the way to Zanbar Bone and then just died. If you 50-50 the vote, we will hold another vote. If you 50-50 that vote, like to the exact person, not to the percentage, to the exact person, then I will restart the entire book. You have been warned. The last time we did this, I replayed the entirety of The Bouncer. Alright? Don't make me do that, because I will play the actual game of Deathtrap Dungeon, and you've seen how bad that is. Determine your luck. How lucky am I? Let's find out. 2. That's not very lucky. I'll take 8. Okay, cool. That's not great. Now we choose a potion. In addition to your other starting equipment, you may take 1 bottle of a magical potion which will aid you on your quest. Each potion contains enough for 1 measure, so use it wisely. A potion of skill, strength, or fortune. Now, skill... Okay, the potion of skill and strength will fully restore your skill or stamina points. Potion of fortune will add 1 to your luck before restoring your luck. I think the most important thing here is going to be stamina. Potion of skill and strength. Yeah, potion of... It's called potion of strength. It should be called potion of stamina. That's what it should be called. I'm going to go with that one because the strength, your stamina is effectively your life. So we may as well go for that. You begin your adventure with a sword, leather armor. Yes, Red Lotus did indeed have leather armor. And a backpack containing provisions, food and drink to sustain you during your journey. Rationing your provisions is key to a successful adventure. They may be consumed at any time excluding combat by accessing the adventurer sheet. Each meal restores 4 stamina. Be sure to pay close attention to your stamina and restore it regularly. Your difficulty setting determines how many provisions you begin with. Adventurers and free readers start with 10, while hardcore heroes begin with 3. You guys ready? I think we can do this. Once you are readied, you may begin. May the luck of the gods go with you on the adventure ahead. Okay, you guys ready? Is this waistcoat a JPEG overlay or are we back to real stuff? You know what? I'm not going to tell you, but what I am going to do is also activate that overlay. So now we've got double waistcoat action. My goodness, Prof, thank you very much for the donation. That's remarkably kind of you. I only know you through YouTube Shorts and learned you make videos about MMOs. May I suggest the biggest French MMO? Are you going to say Dofus? You said Dofus. I don't have Twitter. That's fair enough. Thank you for the suggestion. Dofus has been suggested repeatedly, so many times. Dofus and Wakfu constantly get recommended, but don't worry, they're on the list. Every time someone recommends a game to me, I do note it down. I will get around to it eventually. We've got double waistcoat action going on right now, guys. And if I take this waistcoat off, guess what? Second waistcoat. That's what we need. This is getting out of hand now. There are 2 of them. Despite its name, Fang was an ordinary small town in the northern province of Chiang Mai, situated on the banks of the River Kok. I just wasn't expecting it. Okay. Okay, serious face now. Serious face. Here we go. I'm going to start again. Do seriously. Has anyone seen the... Don't worry, I'm not delaying this. We'll get there. Has anyone seen... I think it's Christopher Tester, who does those amazing voiceovers of speeches from Warhammer 40k, and he did some from video games like BioShock, and he's done some really cool stuff. Christopher Tester, I think, is amazing. I think we very much need to when I hopefully finally move into a new house, I will set up a voice recording booth, and I will do emotive speeches. And I think this is a good emotive speech. Despite its name, Fang was an ordinary small town in the northern province of Chiang Mai. Situated on the banks of the River Kok, it made a convenient stopover for river traders and passengers throughout most of the year. When many river traders were like, "Oh, it's that time of year. Best go down the wet Kok again." A few barges, rafts, and sometimes even a large sailboat could usually be found moored at Fang, but all that was long ago, before the creation of the Trial of Champions. Now, once a year, the river is crammed with boats. That's true. Once a year, Kok overflows with wooden boats, as people arrive from hundreds of miles around, hoping to witness the breaking of an ancient tradition in Fang and see a victor in the Trial of Champions. Each year, warriors and heroes come to Fang to face the test of their lives. Survival is unlikely, yet many take the risk, for the prize is great. A purse of 10,000 gold pieces, the freedom of Chiang Mai forever. However, to become a champion is no easy task. Some years ago, a powerful baron of Fang called Sukhumvit decided to bring attention to his town by creating the ultimate contest. With the help of the townspeople, he constructed a labyrinth deep inside the hillside behind Fang, from which there was only one exit. The labyrinth was filled with all kinds of deadly tricks and traps and loathsome monsters. Sukhumvit had designed it in meticulous detail, so that anybody hoping to face its challenge would have to use their wits as well as weapon skill. When he finally was satisfied that all was complete, he put his labyrinth to the test. He picked 10 of his finest guards, and fully armed, they marched into the labyrinth. They were never seen again. The tale of the ill-fated guards soon spread throughout the land, and it was then that Sukhumvit announced the first Trial of Champions. Messengers and news sheets carried his challenge, 10,000 gold pieces and the freedom of Chiang Mai forever to any person surviving the perils of the labyrinth of Fang. The first year, 17 brave warriors attempted the walk, as it later came to be known. Not one reappeared. As the years passed and the Trial of Champions continued, it attracted more and more challengers and spectators. Fang prospered and would prepare itself months in advance for the spectacle it hosted each year. The town would be decorated, tents erected, dining halls built. Of all the words, put up. That works. Dining halls built, musicians, dancers, fire eaters, illusionists, and every sort of entertainer hired, and entries registered from hopeful individuals intent on making the walk. The week leading up to the festival found the people of Fang and its visitors in wild celebration. We all still on board? Yes, it was erected on the River Kok. It's in the story. That's just how it's written. That's what people want. I could imagine a cinematic intro with this voice. We could do it even more. Yeah, people back in the 80s were pure of mind. They weren't corrupted like we are nowadays with our tactics and facegrams, whatever they have. All that kind of stuff, that constant dopamine. In the 80s, drugs weren't even a thing in the 80s. Didn't even happen, you know? Nothing bad happened in the 1980s. Its visitors in wild celebration. Everybody sang, drank, danced, and laughed until the day of the trial broke and the town thronged to the gates of the labyrinth to watch the first challenger of the year step forward to face the trial of champions. Having seen one of Sukhumvit's challenge flyers nailed to a tree, you decide that this year you will attempt the walk. For the last 5 years, you have been attracted to it, not for the rewards, but for the simple fact that nobody has ever yet emerged victorious from the labyrinth. You intend to make this year in which a champion is crowned. Gathering up a few belongings, you set off immediately. 2 days' walk takes you west to the coast, where you entered the cursed Port Blacksand. Wasting no time in that city of thieves, you buy your passage on a small boat sailing north to where the River Cock meets the sea. And from there, you... Thanks, Ian. From now on, we just blame Ian for everything. Hello. Have you not been fed recently? Do you require food? Okay. Use your inside meow. You want some of the little kibbles? Bits? Little kibbly bits? And you do want that. Okay, hang on. I'll just put them on the floor. There you go. There is 1,000 little kibble bits. Enjoy those. Brilliant. Okay, Mia the cat is she's hanging out. She's just chilling. She's fine. Okay. The trial begins in 3 days' time, and the town is in an almost hysterical mood of excitement. You register your entry with the officials and are given a violet scarf to tie around your arm, informing everyone of your status. I require sustenance. She does. She requires the food. For 3 days you enjoy Fang's greatest hospitality and are treated like a demigod. During the long merriment, you almost forgot your purpose in Fang. But the evening before the trial, the magnitude of the task ahead begins to dominate your thoughts. Later, you are taken to a special guest house, shown to your room. There is a splendid 4-poster bed with satin sheets to help you rest. But there is little time for sleep. Just before dawn, a trumpet call awakens you from vivid dreams of flaming pits and giant black spiders. Minutes later, there's a knock on your door, and a man's voice rings out saying, "The challenge begins soon. Please be ready to leave in 10 minutes. You climb out of bed, walk over to the window, and open the shutters. Already, people are thronging the streets, moving quietly through the morning mist. Spectators on their way to the labyrinth, no doubt, hoping to find good vantage points from which to watch the competitors. You turn away and walk over to a wooden table on which your trusty sword lies. You pick it up and cut the air. Yeah, that's what we're doing now. Winning. No enemies there yet, but we're winning. With a mighty sweep, wondering what beasts its sharp edge may soon have to meet. Then you open the door into the corridor. A small man greets you with a low bow as you emerge from your bedroom. "Please follow me," he says. He turns to his left and walks quickly toward the stairs at the end of the corridor. Leaving your guest house, he darts down narrow alleyways between houses, and you have to walk quickly to keep up with him. Soon, you come to a wide dirt road lined with cheering crowds. When they see your violet scarf, they cheer even louder and start showering you with flowers. The long shadows cast by the people in front of you shrink as the bright yellow sun rises higher in the morning sky. You only took your sword. Apart from that, naked. That's all your... Sword, purple rag around your arm. Completely stark bollock naked, the rest of that. That is the energy we're going into Deathtrap Dungeon with. It's all you picked up. Standing there in front of the noisy and vibrant crowd, you feel strangely alone. Is MC Neckbeard... Hang on, is he neckbearding? Yes. Yes, the main character, just walking straight there with a sword. It's a katana. It's folded over 1,000 times, glorious Nippon steel. All right, straight in. Aware of your coming ordeal, suddenly you feel a tug on your shirt and see your small guide eagerly beckoning you to follow him. Ahead, you see the looming hillside and the dark mouth of a tunnel disappearing into its inner depths. As you get closer,
You notice two great stone pillars on either side of the tunnel entrance. The pillars are covered with ornate carvings, writhing serpents, demons, deities, each seeming to scream a silent warning to those who would pass beyond them. You see Baron Sukhumvit himself, standing by the entrance, waiting to greet the contenders in the Trial of Champions. You count 5 others, standing proudly in a line, their violet scarves displayed for all to see. There are 2 bare-chested barbarians dressed in furs. They stand completely You've got food! Oh, wow, you don't. Okay. Jeez, that was fast. How hungry are you? I'm being a very important warrior. I'm doing the Trial of Champions, Mia. This is not the time for meows. There, have more food. Feed the cat. She is made of hunger. All she does is sleep and scream. I mean, if I had that life, I would do that as well. That's all I would do. Standing completely motionless, legs straight and slightly apart, arms thrust forward to rest on the hilts of their long, double-headed battle-axe. A sleek elven woman with golden hair and feline green eyes is adjusting the crossbelt of daggers wrapped around her leather tunic. Of the 2 remaining men, one is covered from head to foot in iron plate armor, with a plumed helmet and crested shield. The other is cloaked in black robes, only his dark eyes showing between the swaths of his black face scarf, long knives, a wire garrote, and other silent death weapons hanging from his belt. The 5 contenders acknowledge your arrival with almost imperceptible nods of the head, and you turn to face the excellent crowd for the last time. Suddenly, a hush falls over the crowd as Baron Sukhumvit steps forward holding 6 bamboo sticks. You draw one from his outstretched hand and read the word 5th. Then the trial begins. The knight is first. He salutes the crowd before disappearing into the tunnel, and is followed, half an hour later, by the elf. Next goes a barbarian, and then the dark assassin. Now it is your turn to salute the crowd. Holding your violet scarf aloft, you take one final deep breath of cool, fresh air before turning to pass between the stone-pillared gateway into Sukhumvit's corridors of power, to face unknown perils on the walk through the mighty Baron's Deathtrap dungeon. You guys ready? Because I'm going to need your help for this. The knight was asked, "What is your favourite colour?" And then thrown away because you got it wrong. Sir, your microphone vest isn't on straight. That's very... You know what? We can just use this picture of the vest as a microphone vest. Hang on. Yeah, there we go. That works. Little tiny microphone vest. Just stick that there. Now we're all smart. Everything's smart now. Perfect. You guys ready? Here we go. The clamour of the excited spectators gradually fades as you venture deep into the gloom of the cavern tunnel. Large crystals hang from the tunnel roof at 20-metre intervals, radiating a soft light, just enough for you to see your way. As your eyes gradually become accustomed to the near darkness, you begin to see movement all around. Spiders and beetles crawling up and down the chiselled walls disappear quickly into cracks and crevices as they sense your approach. Rats and mice scurry along the floor ahead of you. Rotate it, but make it upside down. If we survive, we might do. Droplets of water drip into small pools with an eerie plopping sound which echoes down the tunnel. The air is cold, moist, and dank. After walking slowly along the tunnel for about 5 minutes, you arrive at a stone table standing against the wall on your left. On it, there are 6 boxes, one of which has your name printed on its lid. Do we open the box or not open the box? You will vote. Join Twitch today. Sign up. What? Why are you not letting me do a poll? What? Obvious. Stupid Twitch thing. Hang on. I've got an idea. I'll just do it from my phone. Apparently, my recording software forgets that I am logged in. So, yeah, what a great start. Fantastic. I should join Twitch. I should join Twitch today. That's what I should do. Like, literally right now.
I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to join Twitch, and you cannot stop me. Can I do it on my phone? Will that work? Am I signed in on my own phone? Hang on. Let's just find out. Let's see. No, hang on. It's fine. Don't worry. Okay, so we're going to do this a different way. While I sign in, guys, make some noise if you want to open the box. Okay, now make some noise if you want to continue walking north. North? No, okay, there was a lot of noise there for box. Right, okay, so box. North. Sounds like a New Yorker saying north. Box. North. Maybe I can just log in, that might work. Hang on. So I'm seeing what I can do. Welcome back, Josh. Thanks. It's my computer. I've been on it literally the whole time. Keep making noise. I'm going to log in. The show is flawless. All right? Don't tell anyone this happened. The show is absolutely flawless. This is perfect. There were no problems whatsoever. Don't look for problems. Problems did not need to happen. Absolutely flawless. No doubt whatsoever in my mind. Perfect. There we go. Let's see if I can do this now. Professional stream all the way. Got it. Fantastic. Okay, we're good. We're good. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Do we open box or Noith? You have 1 minute to vote. Voting starts right now. Do we open box or do we Noith? You have there is a poll in Twitch chat. Everyone gets one vote. I hope everyone gets one vote. Otherwise, this may be bad. By the way, Josh, where were you last month? Busy making YouTube videos. Also in Birmingham to do the Insomnia Festival, which went really well. I met Ben Starr. You know, the voice actor that does Mario. Sorry. Voice actor who does Final Fantasy 16, who then made the clip of himself doing Mario. And that clip is now so famous in my mind that Ben is Mario. That's how it works. Yeah. I met Chris Pratt. No, much better. Met Ben Starr. But no, in all seriousness, he's a lovely guy. Like a really, really nice dude. I do want to see what's in the box. Well, let's find out. We're about to see what's in the box. Link to the clip. I'll see if I can get you a link to the clip at some point. But whenever someone says to me, Ben, I don't think Clive from Final Fantasy, I think Mario. Open the box! The lid of the box lifts off easily. Inside you find 2 gold pieces and a note written on a small piece of parchment addressed to you. After placing the gold in your pocket, you read the message, which says, "Well done. At least you have the sense to stop and take advantage of the token aid given to you. Now I can advise you that you will need to find and use several items if you hope to pass triumphantly through my Deathtrap dungeon." Signed, Succumvit. Memorizing the advice of the note, you tear it into tiny pieces and continue north along the tunnel. Excellent, there we go. Okay. Got some gold. Gold pieces. We got the most valuable thing, which is advice. Advice is the most valuable thing you can give someone. That's not money. I don't quite get why we ripped it up. You know what? That note was a one-of-a-kind note. There was no other note in existence. What we should have done is turned it into an NFT and then ripped it up, because then we'd have still had it. That's how it works. Oh yeah, guys, NFTs are worthless now. Nobody saw that coming. Can we just have a show of hands in the chat? Who is shocked that NFTs didn't work? Yeah, I'm shocked. When I
opened my phone in the morning when I did my regular YouTuber morning routine of rolling over at the crack of noon, 1 o'clock, sun pouring in through the curtains, yesterday's Chinese on the side of the bed, opening my phone and scrolling through and seeing the news where it said, all NFTs are almost completely worthless. And I thought, that's not good enough. We've got to try harder. I want all NFTs being completely worthless. All right, we can push a bit more. We're like 99% of the way there. Just keep going. There was a famous tweet a while back. If you're new to the stream, by the way, and you're thinking, Josh, you're going off on some random tangents and you're not just playing the game, this is going to happen a lot. Just get used to this. There was a tweet a while back where a woman said something like, if I have a diamond, and then, oh, hang on, no, I lie. There wasn't a famous tweet. There was a famous X message, a famous zeet. Look, I'm a millennial, so I have to do that whenever someone says X. It's like a cool thing that we have to do. Oh my God, there was a famous X. And what? Has anyone called it X? Anyone? Is anyone getting a new phone going to the App Store or going to the Google Play Store and searching for X? No, you're searching for Twitter. It's Twitter. It's brand identity. Here's a funny thing. If you go on the Google Play Store or the App Store, X used to have the little tagline underneath, the Everything app. They've had to change that to formerly Twitter because no one knew what the hell it was. Good old Muskrat. He's just... The more I look at him, I realise that he's just an insanely cringy guy with a lot of money. That's all I'm seeing it is. It's like... Correct me if I'm wrong. Again, I'm sure I'm going to get cancelled for this at some point. I'm sure Musk's going to see it, stick on his cowboy hat and hip-fire his machine gun at me. But at some point, you kind of have to have qualifications to have an opinion on something. I saw that news thing. There was a news article where it's like, Elon Musk goes down to the border to give his opinion. Okay. I didn't realise that he was an immigration expert. I didn't realise this was his skill set. So far, his skill set seems to be having a lot of money, buying things, renaming them, and then running away. That seems to pretty much be it. There is no other human being on Earth, and this is not a good thing, there is no other human being on Earth who can just walk into a situation and expect their opinion to be taken seriously. I couldn't do that. Why do people seem to think that just because someone is really good at something, they're also going to be really good at everything? Like, I couldn't just randomly walk down to any kind of border crisis and be like, all right, lads, what's going on? I've got a backward cowboy hat on. Tell me what's going on. Tell me what to think. I'll tell you how to solve it quickly. Have you guys tried phoning people, powerful, important people? Oh, I'm sorry. You can't just randomly call up the president. That's not how it works. You can't just randomly call up the prime minister. That's not how it works. You can't do that. Except, good old elongated muskrat believes that you can. I find it very strange. There was a story that broke a while back of apparently Elon Musk walked into a recording session for, was it Cyberpunk? I think it was Cyberpunk, wasn't he? He walked into a recording session for Cyberpunk and he took with him an old flintlock pistol. And he walked in and he said, I'm armed but not dangerous. Put me in the game. Can we just remove the money? Remove the fact the guy is like a multi-billionaire. Who does that? Who? If it was anyone else, the police would be called. It would immediately become a crime. That's what it was. Oh yes, this guy just walked into a recording studio with a firearm, demanded we put him in the game, and we did. What? Just because somebody has a lot of money doesn't mean you have to do exactly what they say. It's very strange. I feel that he is an incredibly kind of powerful narcissist at this point. Yeah, that's true. Laws are for poor people. Remember, guys, if the punishment for something is a fine, that means it's legal for rich people. You guys ready? Gonna turn to page 66. Let's do this. After walking down the tunnel for a few minutes, you come to a junction. A white arrow painted on one wall points west. On the floor, you can see wet footprints made by those who entered before you. It's hard to be sure, but it looks as though 3 of them followed the direction of the arrow, while 1 decided to go east. If you wish to head west, turn to 293. If you wish to head east, go this way. But yeah, so I find Elon Musk a very strange individual, simply because people have said to me, you do realize, Josh, that being a CEO is a full-time job. I'm like, is it? How is he the CEO of 4 companies then? Because clearly he's doing each one part-time. Because otherwise you can't do it. Josh, he runs a company. It's a full-time job. He runs 4, which means he's giving each of them a quarter of his time, which means he is, by definition, part-time in all of them. That's just how time works. Or his favourite tweet. Very concerning. Very concerning. We'll have to look into this. Very concerning. Concerning. We'll look into this. Concerning. Gonna get my cowboy hat. Gonna hip-fire my machine gun. Gonna grab my flintlock pistol. Head down personally right now. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm 99%... Part of me has a theory, and that theory is that Elon Musk has Homelander-like powers, and all Tesla is trying to do is distract him. That's what it is. Like, if he ever flips, we're in trouble. But if everyone just placates him, we'll be okay. Yes, sir, no, sir, 3 bags full, sir, that kind of stuff. Everyone just placate him. The minute he leaps from one tall building to another and realizes he can, we're like, oh, damn. Yeah, okay. Or maybe he's got like a Homelander-like ego, but doesn't have the physical stuff to back it up. It's a real shame the fight didn't happen between, Zuck, between the Lizard Man and the Muskrat. Who would you have had your money on for that fight? I mean, personally, my money would have been on doing literally anything else, but it would have been good to watch a lizard fight. Zuck. I don't particularly like... We have to understand, guys, that if you are the CEO of a massive company or you're incredibly successful, you have to be built different in some way, not just physically, but also mentally. A lot of extremely successful people, you might admire them, and that's fine, but you probably wouldn't enjoy being their friend because they are just emotionally and mentally built different. They can be narcissistic, they can be psychopathic. The one common trait that almost all CEOs or incredibly powerful people share is a level of psychopathy. So whenever you see these people who are at the upper echelons of success for whatever industry they've gone for, they are different people. They are weird. I'm not saying they're better or worse, but they are different. You know this. So while I don't necessarily think that Zuck would be an interesting person to hang out with, or the fact that he's probably a horrible person in real life, he's bloody successful, and we have to understand and admit this. He is also pretty good at martial arts, from what we've seen. Let's be fair, Zuck would beat Elon in a fight. Yes, Elon is heavier, which means if the fight goes to the ground, he may have a slight advantage, just kind of rolling on top. The rolling pin move, that might work. But unfortunately, I just think that Zuck strikes me as the kind of guy that's been punched in the face before and has dealt with it. Whereas Elon strikes me as the kind of guy who has never been punched in the face and will immediately crumble when that happens. That's just kind of what I'm... From the general attitude, it just seems to be like that, I just think I'd cheer whoever won at that point. Josh, have you had contact with someone who avoids sunlight? Am I very pale? I've got the light shining on my face right now. That's what it is. I've also been inside for the last week and a half playing Deathtrap Dungeon. Alright, I'm not exactly frolicking in vitamin D over here. Are we going west or east? Let's find out. Hang on, guys, poll. Are we going west, go west, or east? Please vote in the chat now. Vitamin D in the UK? Impossible. Absolutely impossible. Has anyone seen me in sunlight? No, I will immediately melt when pulled into sunlight. I'm doing a kind of Astarian thing. Real talk, though. I met Neil Newbin, the Astarian voice actor. One of the nicest guys. Genuinely. Just absolutely time for everyone. Really genuine, really lovely guy. He actually did a little cameo for the Dungeons and Dragons show that we did at Insomnia. He came on the stage at the very end and just acted as a star, and fantastic. Didn't need to do that, asked him nicely, and he helped out. So, Super appreciative of him for that. I owe him a favor. Must grow. Okay, that's fair. Okay, maybe he is good at fighting then. I would just happily watch them. When am I going to try mocap? See, here's the thing. People say to me, Josh, you should get into voice acting. You should get into motion capture. You should get back into acting. I would love to. The problem is that getting into these industries is difficult. Okay, so... Sorry, I'm just looking at the vote. Deathtrap Dungeon is a fighting fantasy gamebook, an interactive adventure in which you are the hero. You can only win by choosing the correct path, finding equipment, avoiding traps, and surviving combat. You will need to be as wise as an owl and as cunning as a weasel to triumph over the challenges ahead of you. Before embarking on your adventure, you must determine your own strengths and weaknesses with a series of dice rolls. You've been preparing for this quest by training yourself in swordplay to improve your skill and exercising vigorously to build up your stamina. Oh, I'm sorry, did you think I was bluffing? I can sit here all night and do this. That's what she said. Before making your rolls, you must choose from one of the 3 difficulty settings. This game, right now my difficulty setting is 50-50 Twitch vote and I hate it. Roll for stamina. No, that'll do. That's better. Well, 18, that's the same as last time. It's exactly the same as last time. Roll for skill, 4, that's the same as last time. Determine my luck. Luck last time was like terrible. That's good. That's better luck. We're going with that one. Fantastic. We're taking the potion of strength again. Okay. Let's go. You begin your... I just wanted to play Deathtrap Dungeon, guys. I just wanted to get here. I just literally wanted to... Fine. Okay. We're going to go back. We'll get to where we were. But let this be a lesson to you. If you 50-50 the vote again, I will literally read everything again. Okay? If you 50-50 this vote again, we read everything from the start. Open the box. We did that last time. That was fine. We got some stuff. Oh, here. West or east? We're back at the choice. Okay. Poll. Don't just vote for what you voted for last time. Do we go west, east? You have 1 minute to vote. Vote now. I swear to God, I spent the last week and a half playing both the video games of this. You are not going to ruin the book for me. Daddy's gaming and angry. You know, I realise as I do get older on the internet, I'm going to have to switch into that kind of daddy energy. Not fatherly energy. You have to make... Every man has to make a choice when they hit like 30, 35 to either go the fatherly route or the daddy route. And you can't really walk both of them. I'm not sure which one to go for yet. We'll find out eventually. Like, you can either go the Halcyon route or you go the Astarian route. And I'm thinking of the Halcyon route. That's my plan. Thank you for gifting some tier 1 subs. That's remarkably kind of you. I can see some stuff there all gifted. Speeding, that's very, very nice. Thank you very, very much. How's the vote going so far? Let's just have a quick check of the vote. I am nervous of what's happening. I swear to God, 120, 118. It's not going to be percentage-wise. You've got to balance it person-wise. Okay, if one person who voted East had voted West, then it would have balanced. If one person had switched from one to the other, would have worked. We are going east. You guys ready? Here we go. Ahead, you can see a large obstruction on the tunnel floor. Although it is too dark to make out exactly what it is, the wet footprints you have been following carry on toward the obstruction. If you want to continue east, or do we go back to the junction and head west? Now do remember, we do, I believe, have a map. So, there are the Adoring fans. There are the labeled boxes. We went to the eastern path. We haven't yet been that way. So, which way do we go? Do we continue east? Or do we go back west? There is a poll as usual. Do we continue east? Or go back west? The poll is voting right now. It really bothers me that east is on the left. It didn't bother me until you pointed it out. Now it does. Thanks. Thanks. Why is the east map on the left? Because it should... Yeah, because east is on the right. When you look at a compass, east is on the right. Never eat shredded wheat. That's how I remembered. I like how when you're in school you get taught never eat shredded wheat. It's 4 letters. Just remember them. You don't need 4 words for this. Am I planning to play WoW hardcore? Probably not. I don't believe that World of Warcraft is doing enough right now within the MMORPG space to justify a load of time being played into it from a new player. I mean, I've played it a long time ago. I enjoyed being a Vengeance Demon Hunter tank. I think it was great. But with the amount of options and choice that I've got available to me and the amount of games that I've got coming out, I just wouldn't particularly want to put a load of time into World of Warcraft right now. Continue east, 98 to 93. Let's continue east. You see that the obstruction is a large, brown, boulder-like object. You touch it with your hand and are surprised to find that it is soft and spongy. Should we try to climb over it, or do we slice it open with our sword? What are we doing? Let's find out. What are we doing with the giant poo object in the center? Do we climb? Do we climb over? Or slice with our sword? You can use the grenade launcher. If only we had the grenade launcher right now, that would be great. I think that, unfortunately, people often ask me why I don't put World of Warcraft on lists when I say of what games you should play. I'll tell you for the same reason. For the same reason that when someone asks me what sport I think they should play, I don't recommend football. I understand that football is the most popular sport in the world. I understand that it's incredibly easy to get into, it's got a huge amount of history, it's got a massive amount of fans, and you can absolutely find a social group who enjoy football. It is so popular, so ubiquitous with sports, that you almost don't need to recommend it. It's just that popular. It's just that big. So when someone says to me, hey, which sport should I get into? I tend to not recommend football for 2 reasons. 1, it's so bloody popular it doesn't need recommendations. And 2, the kind of people that are asking what sport they should get into tends to already know football exists and want more fringe suggestions. That's one of the things that I feel about World of Warcraft. People go, oh, why haven't you put World of Warcraft on this should you playlist? It's so popular, it's always there. It's number 1. It's been number 1 kind of for years and years and years, apart from that slight moment where kind of Final Fantasy XIV briefly took over because Blizzard's finally dropped the ball too long on it. But I don't recommend it simply because I don't think that a new MMORPG player is going to get as much out of it as they would out of other MMOs that are currently around. We are slicing open the brown, fleshy object. Your sword easily pierces the thin outer casing of the giant spore ball. A thick brown cloud of spores bursts out of the ball and envelops you. Some of the spores stick to your skin and start to itch terribly. Great lumps come up on your face and arms, and your skin feels as if it's on fire. You lose 2 stamina points. Frantically scratching your itching lumps, you step over the now deflated spore ball and head east. The tunnel makes a sudden turn to the left and heads north for as far as you can see. The footprints you are following start to peter out as the tunnel becomes gradually drier. Soon you are beyond the dripping roof and the pools on the floor. You notice the air becoming hotter, and you find yourself panting, even though you are walking quite slowly. In a small recess on the left-hand wall, you see a section of bamboo standing on its end. Lifting it down, you see it is filled with a clear liquid. Your throat is painfully dry. You feel a little dizzy from the heat in the tunnel. Do we drink the bamboo liquid, or do we not risk drinking the liquid and instead continue north? How many of you would just randomly drink the liquid you found in a tunnel? And how many of you would not? We're about to find out. Do we drink or don't drink. Poll is active now. It could taste good. It could. You could be there chanting, "We like to drink with Josh," because Josh is our mate. And when we drink with Josh, he drinks it down in 8, 7, 6, 5, and then that happens more. I've done this IRL with pills. Don't do it. Chug it down. No drinking the cacti water. Might be water from the River Cock. It might be. Right. A good man always... Hey, never turn down a free vial of tunnel juice. Why not? The secret healing sewer juice. And if you 50-50 this perfectly to the person, we will restart the book and I will reread everything. Okay, it is the quenchiest. Maybe it's got electrolytes. Maybe it's got what plants crave. We don't know. Maybe it's Brawndo. Let's find out. Turns into the Ninja Turtles, drink the slurm, tunnel ooze. You wrap your lips around that bamboo shaft and guzzle down the lovely thick sewer juice. 60% of you want me to drink it. Let's do it. The water in the bamboo pipe is welcomely refreshing. You gain 1 stamina point. It also contains a magical solution which will enable you to be exposed to melting point temperatures without harm. Discarding the bamboo, you start off north again, in good spirits. The sewer juice. Who knew? It was the potion, what was it in the game? The charm of icy cool. It was indeed the quenchiest. We are now Iceman. The temperature continues to rise and you find yourself dripping with sweat. As you struggle on, the heat intensifies until it feels like a white heat and becomes so unbearable that you begin to pass out. If you drank the liquid from the bamboo pipe, click here, the River Cock saved us. Although the temperature in the tunnel is higher than you could normally tolerate, the liquid from the bamboo pipe keeps you alive. Mercifully, the temperature now starts to drop rapidly, and soon it feels almost cool again. On the left-hand side of the tunnel is a closed door. It has a small iron plate in it, which might possibly slide open. Do we try to open the door? Should we try to slide the iron plate? Or should we continue north, up the tunnel? Okay, so we have 3 choices here. Do we open door? Do we slide the plate open? Like a little faceplate where some eyes will be there and then they ask for a password, like in an old kind of film. Or do we go north? Poll's active now. You have 1 minute. Do we head benorth? Always head benorth. The thing is blocked by some reason. Do we try to open the door? Do we slide the iron plate grill across and see if we can peer inside? Or do we ignore the door and go north? Hello Josh, just finished today's video. GG on finishing your childhood game. Thank you very much. And now we're finishing the book of the same game. I say finishing. I'm hoping that we finish the book of the same game. It's bloody difficult. The main problem is that I'm relying on all of you. So far, a lot of you want to slide the plate open on this door. A lot of you there. Now, I've finished the monster in that mug, and I'm going to pour some aloe vera juice into it, but I'm not going to tell you that, so you all still think that I am drinking. Oh, there we go, ASMR. All still think that I'm drinking tea. See? When I'm being incredibly middle class and pedantic. The invisible liquid. It's that aloe vera juice with like little bits in it. I like it. I think it's nice. Okay, you guys ready? Slide the plate open. Here we go. The small plate slides open easily, and you find yourself peering into a room with a deep pit in the floor behind the door. On the opposite wall, there are 2 iron hooks, on one of which hangs a coil of rope. If you wish to open the door, jump over the pit and take the rope, or do we ignore that and then just continue north along the tunnel? So, what do we do? Do we open the door, jump over the pit, grab the rope, or are we like, nah, I'm not about that life. Vibes are off. Not feeling this room. Not going to go into it. Do the rope trick. It does seem safe. We should take the rope. We might need it to cross a pit. You should jump over that dangerous pit and grab the rope, because if you ever need to cross a dangerous pit, you would need the rope. That's what it might be. Do a flip. Okay. Maybe this is just another part of Red Lotus's costume. Maybe the BDSM theme just continued into the book and they were like, okay, yes, we'll need that as well. Do we attempt to jump the pit, or do we go north? Oh no, I spelled it wrong. I meant to write Benorth, not Bonorth. Okay, do we jump the pit or do we go Bonorth? Which way are we going? This surely isn't some kind of death trap in a dungeon. Speaking of Bono, is Bono the guy from U2? They are. I always, like, there's Brit pop bands always confuse me, because in my mind, U2, Radiohead and Oasis are all the same band. Like, Brit pop, kind of middle of the road, general whininess in my head all just combines together. And people are going to go, U2 is not British, he's from Irons. So, okay, it doesn't matter. It's the same kind of whiny music. Okay? No one actively listens to U2. No one has gone to the shop and bought a U2 album ever. You don't need to. For some reason, they're the highest selling band of, like, forever. But no. Did you guys see U2 when they performed inside the giant ball? Did you all see the giant ball? I think we all saw inside of the giant ball. Yeah, U2 is very much a band that is forced on people. No one goes out their way to listen to it, but it's always there. Always there. Yeah, the giant Las Vegas one. Yeah, the huge Las Vegas inside the big ball that they've built there, because they can. Yeah, I very much do feel like U2 are similar to Nickelback in that aspect, in that no one actively goes out of their way to listen to them, but they do end up hearing them anyway. You kind of... All of my U2 knowledge has been against my will. Every single time I've heard them, it's been because somebody else or the radio has decided that I would like them, and every time they're wrong. That's what it is. Every single time. I'm just not a fan of Europop, kind of that thing, and people are going to go, it's not Europop. It is. You're in denial. It absolutely is. Baron Suckumvit is Bono. He's still on the top going, every time I clap, an adventurer dies in Deathtrap Dungeon. With your help, we can stop this. That's what he's doing. Okay, what was the vote? Was it jump over the pit, wasn't it? It was definitely jump over the pit. Oasis is like a washed out Beatles. U2 have always been old men trying to look young, and then there's Radiohead. Like, that is the whole joke, isn't it? Where Bono says, every time I clap, a child dies, and someone just shouts, stop clapping. Right, okay, let's jump over the pit. The door swings open into the room, and you step back and jump over the pit. You put the rope in your backpack and jump back over the pit to leave the room and head north. I'm just saying that if I was allowed to perform inside the giant Las Vegas dome, I would put on one hell of a Dungeons and Dragons show. You know, that's what it would be. It would just be a massive wraparound image of my face just staring at the players and asking, are you sure you want to do that? After every choice they make. I'd do that. Let's phone up Vegas. Let's do the Elon Musk thing of just, let's follow his advice. Let's just get an old flintlock pistol and walk in and demand that they put me on stage. That's what Elon would do, isn't it? He'd just stick on a cowboy hat, walk down and ask what's going on. See what's there. You know what kind of energy he very much exudes? You know, my granddad does this. You know when old people just walk into situations that they're not involved with in any way and ask what's going on, as if there's some level of authority involved, when in reality they're just nosy and want to kind of know what's going on. It's that kind of level of energy. It's that vibe. When someone... It's like the old grannies just peering out from between the curtains, watching what goes on the streets, and then turning around and being like, oh, I see that they're back over there. Oh, they're having a visitor over there. Oh, I see they're off to the shop over there. That, but you can do it literally anywhere because you're a billionaire. That's the energy that Elon's bringing to it. Just walking up, all right, lads, what's going on? Tell me things. What's happening? And I'm just sat there and be like, I'm just playing some RuneScape, Elon. Just making a video. Why are you in my house? Again. We've had this conversation. Stop. I'm not buying a truck. That kind of thing. COA is choose your own adventure. Ahead, you see the tunnel turns sharply to the left. You turn the corner and almost bump straight into two fierce-looking orcs, armed with morning stars and wearing leather armor. You are totally unprepared, and as you draw your sword, one of them swings its morning star at you. Roll a die. 1. It's not the best start, but don't worry. Critical flail. Get it? Because he's... I don't think you appreciated how clever that was. Because look, that orc has a... Don't call me bad. Dragon Crimes in the chat's like, no, bad Josh. The orc's morning star thuds into your arm, knocking your sword to the floor. You must fight bare-handed, reducing your skill by 4 for the duration of the combat. Fortunately, the tunnel is too narrow for both orcs to attack you at once. You must fight. Here we go. So, I have 17 stamina remaining, 6 skill. Oh, that's not great because of reduced. So what I remember is the orc has 5 stamina, 5 skill. I roll 2 dice, the orc rolls 2 dice, you add the skill, highest number wins. Nice and simple. Orcs are red. Okay, cool. Hit the orc, we're good. We can try and be lucky if we want to, which will do an extra damage to the orc. I'm going to try and be lucky because I think if I am lucky, we take the stamina down to 2, which means I can kill them in 2 things. Okay, someone just said, what is that haircut? That, my friends, is the official adventurer's haircut. You have it cut in a bowl shape like that, and then you have a series of small sausage rolls, apparently, stored around. That's actually the rations. That's what. If you look carefully, you'll see they are mini bite-sized picnic-style sausage rolls, just arranged in a string around the hair. That's how it works. It's a pizza about to explode. It is. It's a grape. One big grape. It is delicious, thank you. Let's try and be lucky. That was lucky. Excellent, cool. Now we can get one more hit. Take the first orc down. No problem at all. First orc goes straight down. Easy. Second orc is less health, more skill. Ooh, okay. Oh, beat him by 1. Okay, that's good. We do 2 damage per hit. And now we need 1 more hit. That's not looking good. Oi! Get away from there. The dogs have come in and they're like, ooh, hello, cat food. If you want to be on camera, that's fine, but you cannot be eating the cat food. That's not good. 13 to 17. Okay, it's going to hit me. Let's try again. Oh, that's not good either. 50, that's a draw. 15 to 15. That's better. We'll take that. 16 to 12. Now we win. We hit the second orc. You are triumphant. We win. Inside one of the orc's pockets, you find 1 gold piece and a hollow wooden tube. You put your findings in your backpack and set off west. As you walk along, droplets of water again start falling from the tunnel ceiling. You see wet footprints made by the same boots that you followed earlier, heading west. The footprints lead to a closed iron door in the right-hand wall of the tunnel, but do not seem to go any further. Do we open this closed iron door? Or do we just keep going west? What are we doing? Did I grope the orc? Hey. It was a fight. You do what you've got to do to win. The book doesn't know if you dropped the sword, so you can't say, hey, you picked up your sword. What do you want? Hang on. Come here. I know that you want to hang out. It's fine. Okay, you just keep doing that. It's fine. Do we open the door? Or do we keep going west? Which choice? This is Piper. Piper thinks that I am a big, useless dog. So Piper has a thing about cleaning me. Every time she meets me, she's like, hey, you're terrible at surviving. You're terrible at grooming yourself. You're terrible at being a dog. Let me help. Let me show you how you should be. And she does. She helps very much, and I love her very much because she's great. Okay, Piper, I'm just going to gently put you down here. Okay, there we go. You can hang out there for a bit. There we go. Right, so do we... She's... Hang on. Just give me a minute. We good? That's the microphone, Piper. She missed a spot. Or you use peanut butter instead of hair gel. Hey, that's my secret, okay? That is the secret. Right, do we? The job was not done. Let's go for a poll. Come on. She is precious, and now she's cleaning my arm because she has a thing about that. Piper? Paw? Paw? Yeah, well done. Well remembered. She knows what paw means because she's a very... Oh, are you not getting enough attention? Hang on. Are you getting jealous? Come here, you. Come on. You can sit here and chill with me now for a bit. This is Apollo. Apollo, say hello. Apollo is a cloud. He is made of fluff. And he is very dumb. But we love him. So, question is, do we... He's just going to sit there, eh? Okay, he's just going to... He's going to hang out. This is him. This is how he does it. Do we open the... Hang on, let's get the keyboard. Open the door? Or do we keep going west? You have a minute to vote. Just going to hang like this, are you, for a bit? If I do this, I'll fall asleep. To be fair, if someone did this to me, I would fall asleep as well. Hi. How's it going? Having a good time? I'm just curling up, having a nap. This is what we're doing. I'm just lying on my arm now, Crux on my elbow. Just chilling, maxing, relaxing. Is that how we're doing it? Apollo is a very happy cloud, that's true. Here's a Japanese Spitz. Okay, you must now go onto the floor. There we go. Welcome back to the floor, and now my face is absolutely covered in white fluff. I cannot own anything black, because it all gets completely covered in white fur. All the time. Right, okay, what are we doing? We are opening the door. Turn to page 299. The door opens into a large chamber, where you are shocked to see one of your rivals, who has obviously met a sudden gory death. It is one of the barbarians, and he is impaled on several long iron spikes which are fixed to a frame that has sprung out of the floor. A lot of rubbish and debris litters the floor, concealing a hidden tripwire which he must have stepped on and thus released the spiked frame. In the far wall is an alcove, which you can see a silver goblet standing on a small wooden table. Someone has shouted, "Loot him." Look, he's not wearing anything. All he's got is a loincloth. All right, and I'm not going to loot that, am I? Will you loot the barbarian? Walk toward the alcove or close the door and continue west? I'm going to poll this, but I think I know what you're going to go. Will you loot him? Check alcove? Or go west? What are we doing? Work out what we're doing, guys. Somebody give me some choices. I will remind you that he looks like that. Okay? He is very much an impaled Conan. That's what's happened. Apollo, why are you licking the carpet? Does the carpet there taste nice? Are there remnants of cat food there? Good job, you fluffy little hoover. The west is always good. What are we doing? I don't even need to check this poll. I know that you're going to vote to loot him. 9 people are like, go west, do it. See what happens. Not even shoes. Not even, maybe he's got some secrets, some barbarian secrets under his loincloth. What if the loincloth is a legendary item with the highest stats? Yes, the legendary loincloth of defense. That one. Can we steal his better haircut? Okay, right, let's search the barbarian. The pouch on the barbarian's belt is empty, apart from some strange-looking dried meat wrapped in a cloth. Will you eat the dried meat, leave the meat, and walk over to inspect the alcove, or leave the chamber and head west? Do you want to put the barbarian's meat in your mouth? That's the question you have to answer. Now, I can't answer that for you. My God, I wish I could, but I can't. Unfortunately, you have, for some reason, some mistake of God, been given free will. Will you eat his meat? Go to alcove. I don't even know why I'm making this a poll. I know what you're going to do. Leave, go west. Start the poll. You're all the worst people in the world. Is undoing another button the option for me? I'll undo as many buttons as you want. This one? Is this the one you want undone right now? I warn you that I am a white guy. All right? I haven't seen the sun in 2 weeks. I look like an uncooked Greg's Bake. That's what I look like. I look like a snowman that just wandered in. Right? That's what's happening right now. Have you ever seen a tray full of, like, kind of pasties before they go in the oven and get that golden brown colour on them? That's what I'm rocking right now. That's what I'm going for. Yeah, just, guys, focus on the barbarian's meat, all right? That's what we need to do. Am I from Manchester? Because I can see your man-chest hair. That's true. I'm actually from Tennessee, because I'm the only 10 you see. Oh, there we go. Don't make me bring out the flirtation tools, because I will turn on the smolder. That's what'll happen. Don't make me flirt with you, because I will roll a d20 and it will be a 2 and I will fail. Eat his meat. 76% of you want me to eat the barbarian's meat. Bring in the Kenergy. Alright? I know that I am Kenuff. I absolutely straight up am. Eat the meat. The meat contains herbs, which will increase your strength. You gain 3 stamina points. What would you like to do now? You may either walk over and inspect the alcove, or leave the chamber. Putting the meat in our mouth gave us some stamina back. Okay, I'm not gonna... I will question your methods, but I cannot question their effectiveness. So, what do we do now? It's all the protein, that it is. A quick shot of barbarian protein, and we are back to our adventure. Stop it. Grow up. Don't do these things. Okay? I expect better from you. If that's the attitude that you're going to have, if that's the childish general thoughts, if your brain operates that way, then get out of Deathtrap Dungeon, go back to the River Cock. What do we do now? Do we... Do we inspect the alcove? The alcove in the wall, not the barbarian's alcove. Or do we leave and go west? Starting the poll right now. Visa is eating after the drought. Hey, I've got to keep him alive. You know, I've got to keep him working hard. How do I not laugh when I say that? Because unfortunately, I know that you guys are going to laugh at it. The moist alcove, no! No, we are not going into the barbarian's moist alcove. What you do after Deathtrap Dungeon, up to you. Your own choice. Free will. But I swear to God, before, no. Check the cleft. No, I mean, I laughed enough when we were playing Dragon Age and we had to go and inspect the taint. That broke me. That was as far as I was willing to go. Look, I'm not just saying River Cock for the fun of it. That's actually the name of the river in this book. All right? Ian Livingston wrote that. And he knew exactly what he was doing. Right. Inspect the alcove. 89% of you want to inspect the alcove. You walk slowly over to the alcove, carefully checking the floor for any more hidden traps. You see that the goblet contains a sparkling red liquid. Will we drink the red liquid or leave the chamber and continue west? Now, we have had some experience drinking random liquids that we've found in tunnels. we drank the liquid inside the bamboo container, and that turned out to be some kind of protection from heat, which kept us alive. I don't want that to become a lesson that we learn, because that might not always be accurate, might not always be the safest thing. Now, I understand that most of you in the chat are incredibly thirsty, but it seems to be for the barbarian and not for the liquid drink. But what do we do? Paul, do we drink the red liquid, or do we leave? The poll is starting right now. Let's see how thirsty you all really are. Do you chug the forbidden soup, or do you leave the room, go back outside? Chat has no self-preservation whatsoever. You would all die if you took on Deathtrap Dungeon. All of you. None of you have any common sense. I like how Dog just said, Josh, you played the game. What does the red liquid do? Pretty sure the red liquid was a strength potion in the game. But that is the game. This is the book. Totally different. Different things. Okay? Different. Don't take advice from one and put it into the other. Apollo has fallen asleep on the floor next to me, and Piper is asleep under the desk. I will bring Pet Cam back at some point. The little secondary camera I had that followed the animals under the desk. It was very cute. Don't question the madness. What do we do? So all of you want to drink the red liquid. We are drinking the red liquid. Here we go. Lifting the goblet releases a spring catch, and a dart shoots out of the wooden table leg. Test your luck. Now, with luck, I believe you need to roll under what your luck currently is. So in 2 dice, we need to roll under 11. So as long as we don't get double sixes, we're okay. Easy. Fine. You are lucky. Your reflexes are sharp, and you quickly jump aside. The dart whistles past, only just missing you, and thuds into the opposite wall. You see the goblet lying on the floor, and the red liquid running away in rivulets over the grey stone. At least the goblet may be of some use, so you put it in your backpack. And seeing as we've done everything here, we must now leave. The passage soon leads to a junction. You notice more footprints on the floor, possibly as many as 3 pairs, heading north from the south passage. You decide to follow them. The passage opens out into a wide cavern, which is darker but much drier. Ahead, you see the footprints gradually fade, then disappear. There is a large idol in the center of the cavern, standing approximately 6 meters high. It has jeweled eyes, each as big as your fist. There are 2 giant stuffed bird-like creatures standing on either side of the idol. If you wish to climb the idol and take the jewels, or just walk through the cavern to the tunnel in the opposite wall. What do we do? Someone just said, I'm enjoying this more than Starfield. I think that's because this actually has a plot. I like the idea. See, the problem with Starfield is it's the exact example of the fact that a lot of pointlessness does not mean the game is bigger and better. When people say to me, oh, it's going to have, what's the phrase? The procedural generation. It's going to have procedural generation, that kind of stuff. Okay? Procedural generation is good at making a lot of stuff, but it's not good at making bespoke, curated, specific, well-written, well-designed stuff. That's the way. If you were to go out to eat some food, would you rather have a really nice hand-cooked specific meal in which every single thing tasted incredible, but there was a decent amount but not too much? Or would you rather go out for literally endless amounts of flavourless slop? Now, some people might enjoy the extremity of the flavourless slop, but most people will want a smaller amount of quality. And this is what people aren't quite getting in the gaming world. And I swear to God, it is executives that don't play games that find this stuff impressive. When someone says, oh my God, this game's going to be 1,000 hours long, that's not a great selling point for a lot of gamers. Is it 1,000 hours of specifically well-written, well-curated, tight plot? Is it 1,000 hours of good mechanics, stacking mechanics, interesting, engaging, emergent gameplay that's been designed to be as good as it can possibly be? Or is it 1,000 hours of repetition, of doing the same thing, of just procedurally generating the same basic thing again and again and again and again and again? And the only people that are impressed by how big a game is are the executives who are using this as a selling point. A 1,000-hour game is useless if you don't want to play it for 1,000 hours. I would very much rather play a really, really well-made 10-hour game instead of a really poorly made 100-hour game. Now, every now and again, you'll get a really well-made 1 to 200-hour game. They are very rare. We're talking The Witcher 3. We're talking Baldur's Gate 3. We're talking Elden Ring. Now, every now and again, you'll get a game that is massive and contains a hell of a lot of good stuff. You know, that's very, very impressive. The problem comes when you get 100 hours of gameplay packed into 1,000 hours of game. That's not that good. So when people say to me, oh, you've got to play this game, it's huge. Okay. What's there? It's easier to make something big than it is to make something good. Does anyone in the chat... I mean, I'm guessing that most of my audience, most of you guys are... We tend to be, and again, don't get offended, this is true. We tend to be a little bit older. You know, I'm not exactly appealing to the 12 to 15-year-old TikTok Zoomer generation. I'm sure some of you might be, 14, 15. That's fine, but the vast majority of my audience tends to be between 20 and 40. And that tends to be when people have jobs, when people are at university or college, when people are starting families. And the appeal of a 500-hour game takes on a bit of a sour note. Have any of you looked at a game that advertises itself as being really bloody long as a positive and actually thought to yourself, I now don't want to play that because I don't have that much time? What's strange to me is that Baldur's Gate 3 came out, which is 100 to 200 to 300 hours RPG, and then Starfield came out, which is a massive game as well, and then something else will come out. A lot of people asked me why I didn't play Baldur's Gate 3. Two reasons. One, I wanted to enjoy it, and so I'm going to play it slowly. But the second reason is I want to finish it, and finishing a 300-hour RPG on stream is a difficult thing because I play at about 40% efficiency if I'm streaming. If I'm sat there playing a game, I'm just playing it. If I'm sat there making a video or streaming, in 1 hour, I'll probably progress for about 15 minutes. You guys know how I am with RuneScape. I take a long time to get anywhere, but it's very difficult to play. There is no way that I'll be able to finish Baldur's Gate 3 on stream, and then Starfield, and then this, and then that. There are so many super long games that I know that I won't be able to finish, so I do not bother starting, because I want to play them in my off time and enjoy them. I've not even installed Baldur's Gate 3 yet, because I'm scared it'll eat into my work. But Starfield was another example of quantity instead of quality, and I think this is just indicative of the gaming kind of creation landscape in general, that the people with money, the high-up executives, the businesses with money, don't actually care about the quality of the game. They care about the quantity of game that they can say they've made, because in their mind, more quantity of game means more money. Every now and again, you'll get a game that's small, focused, knows what it is, and is really good. Good example, Vampire Survivors. Factorio. They know exactly what they've got. Here it is. Doesn't need to be a huge, extended cinematic universe. This is the game. Enjoy it. That's it. Procedural generation works in games like Vampire Survivors because it's just given me more of exactly what I want. It might not work in Starfield because I kind of want a plot in my RPGs. Have any of you started playing again? In fact, this is a very interesting question, and I think that you need to be honest with yourself. Have any of you in the chat, and if you're watching this on a clip on YouTube, leave a comment down below because I genuinely I am interested in this. I'll talk about it on Discord later on. Have any of you originally started being really impressed by stuff like procedural generation, really impressed by the idea of something being thousands of hours long, and then you actually played it and over the months, over the years, realized it's actually quite boring? Because that happens a lot. People come and say to me, oh my god, it's going to be massive, it's going to be huge, it'll be this epic quest. And then people do it and they're like, actually, this is quite boring after a while. It's like the people say, oh, there's unlimited quests in Skyrim. Are there? Or are there just like 6 quests that are repeated for the entire game? Constantly. Forever. It's like when people come to me and say, oh my god, this metaverse is going to work. This NFT game is going to work. This procedural generation RPG is going to work. It sounds great. It's not fun to play. And because you can't quantify how fun something is to an executive, they don't care. I mean, procedural generation does fit a certain genre of game. Things like Cluster Truck, where you just run forward. Things like an endless zombie horde shooter. Things like a parkour game. I think procedural generation would be super interesting in a game like Mirror's Edge. Imagine having a competitive parkour-style game where you and a friend have to constantly chase each other, catch each other, avoid enemies in a procedurally generated running landscape. Minecraft is procedurally generated, and it works for that kind of game. What it does not work for is in-depth, story-driven RPGs. As much, anyway. I think I remember the exact moment that I got annoyed at procedural generation and realised it was crap. I was playing an old PC game called Soldier of Fortune. Don't know if you guys ever played Soldier of Fortune, but I am showing my age with that. I had a friend who had it on PC and they were like, this is the most amazing game ever, Soldier of Fortune. When you shoot someone with a shotgun, their arm blows off and blood goes everywhere. And it was advertised as like this really gory game. And then I played it, I'm like, it's pretty good. And then there was a procedural generation mission mode. So I started playing it. And in one mission, I started off in the woods. And I walked forward, and I walked past a tractor. Then I walked forward, and I walked past a hay bale. And then I saw a building in the distance, and I killed the enemy. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Then I did another procedural mission, and I started in the woods, and I walked forward. This time there was a hay bale. And then I walked forward, and there was a building with a tractor next to it. And I thought, right, I can see what's going on with the procedural generation here, and I cannot deny this is a different level to the previous. But in another, more realistic way, it is not a different level to the previous in any way. When people say to me, people advertise games at me like I'm meant to be impressed. They're like, you can land on this planet and imagine walking forward and exploring a cave. Okay, I've done that in many games. Has this cave been created by a designer? Has this cave been created as part of a greater narrative, as part of a greater plot? Because I pretty much explored a cave in Skyrim and I found that massive underground city. They're like, oh no, you'll find nothing. That's not the selling point you think it is. When someone says to me, procedural generation, you can have an amazing landscape. Look, mate, landscape-wise, you're up against Elden Ring. Who in Elden Ring took one of the elevators down and thought, oh, there's going to be a small cave, and then discovered an entire second city under the ground? That level of design is impressive. You would not get that in procedural generation. There is a point to it in games, but creating more unrefined game is not it. That's what procedural generation does. It creates a lot of stuff that doesn't relate to itself or to other things. Good games need to do that. You could not click procedurally generate and create Mass Effect from scratch. It wouldn't be able to create, Baldur's Gate. It wouldn't be able to create any kind of, narrative-driven game that we like, because human creativity is needed for that. Sorry to rant about this, but I just get very upset that the buzzwords that executives use to advertise games are absolutely not the buzzwords that actual gamers tend to care about. I've met so many people who love video games who don't care about the buzzword of the week or the buzzword of the year. And then I've met people who don't love video games but are involved in their creation who absolutely bloody love buzzwords because they can't wait for the next amazing big breakthrough thing. It's like how every 10 years Hollywood tries to make 3D cinema happen, and people that are going to the cinema don't necessarily want that. Business people are not always gamers, And when you meet someone who is a business person and a gamer, they tend to understand. They tend to get it. Which is why I think you have things like Final Fantasy XIV being designed by someone who plays it. You have Larian and Baldur's Gate 3 being designed by people who play it. You have games designed by people who play games tend to work out and become really good games. Let's just have a quick chat back up. It's funny we appreciate these older games more than the new ones because back then developers actually... I think developers realised that they couldn't outsource or procedurally generate anything, and so they had to put it in. Maybe this is what it is. If you know that you can create a huge amount of quantity without a lot of effort, then you create a huge amount of quantity, and then you just put small bits of quality throughout it, which means you end up with a big game with little bits of quality here and there. Now, to the player, that'll feel like a really big game with some bits of quality, but there is filler between the quality. There is the procedural generation. Back when you couldn't do that, every bit of the game had to be quality. Like, every single bit of the game was like, right, this can't be filler because this takes time to make, so we may as well just make this good. If we're going to design this anyway, why don't we design this in a way that actually does or says something? I think, to me, a good game that does and says something every level would be Future Cop LAPD. Every level in Future Cop is good. There is very little filler in that game, if any at all. Games like Rayman, every level was trying to do something. Even games like Tomb Raider, every level was trying to do something. Procedural generation is a great way to save time and create a lot of stuff that might not necessarily be high quality. But then you have games like Hades or the roguelikes and the roguelites that use procedural generation to just create something. But I don't necessarily think that's filling in the gaps between the good gameplay. That is several good gameplay components all being thrown together. Like, if Starfield could procedurally generate planets and every planet was absolutely jam-packed with stuff to do, cool. Now, I am also aware that there is a beauty, a power, if you will, a level of impressiveness to a huge amount of nothing. When you ride out into the desert in Final Fantasy XIV, you're like, holy crap, this is huge. This is massive. This is really impressive. You ride out into the desert or the ocean in any game and you're like, you know what? This is a lot of nothing and this is impressive. That can be impressive in itself if it's one big lot of nothing. The danger comes when you are filling in every single part of your game between the quality bits with a lot of nothing. They're like, hey, this bit's good, this bit's good, this bit's good. And they're all connected by a bit of nothing. And I'm thinking, okay, why don't we just get rid of those bits of nothing? Just put all the good bits next to each other. All the good bits right there. The game would be shorter, but it would also be more intense. And I like that. Modern games don't have many limits outside of man hours and budget, so old games working around limits. That's true. Do you find that limits breed creativity? I think they do. Limits breed creativity. If you are forced to adhere to a limit, you will find a way to work within that limit, and this often makes you more creative. That's one thing that I used to teach when I was teaching theatre all the time. People would come up to me and they would say things like, oh, we need to have a shootout, but we can't afford the guns, or, oh, we need to have a stage kiss, but we can't make it look real. We need to have an explosion happen right now, but we don't have the pyrotechnics to show an explosion. Okay, cool. Limits are problems, and as you've just said in the chat, which is perfect, this is a way that we need to solve the problem. You can add a certain charm. For example, Monty Python, that's a great example. Deeper, you and me are going to the same place in this one. Monty Python could not afford horses when they were doing Monty Python and the Holy Grail, so they got the coconuts. They solved the problem, and it was amazing. Have you seen this is one I always go to. Have you seen the original Deadpool film? In the very first Deadpool film, it was meant to end with a shootout scene. But they ran out of budget and realized they couldn't do the shootout scene. So you know that scene where Wade realizes that he's left the guns in the taxi and they can't do the shootout, and he just says, fine, maximum effort, walks forward and draws for the melee fight? That was because they couldn't afford all the guns for that scene, so they just wrote into the film, Wade forgets the guns. And then they go in and just do an actual melee thing instead. But it worked really well. That's a great example of a limit being forced to follow into a... There was another one. I mean, here's an example. Who has seen Monty Python and the Holy Grail? I know this is, again, everyone's showing my age, but I'm hoping you will have done because it's a great film. Monty Python and the Holy Grail. How does it end? How does it end? That film. It's a strange... When you think about it, like, hang on, how does that end? That film. Police drive in and arrest everyone. Do you know why they put that in? It's a cop-out. That's actually what it is. They couldn't work out how to end the film well. So they said, you know what? We'll just do a cop-out ending, which is slang for we'll do it badly. It's a literal cop-out because they had the police come in and arrest everyone. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant way of solving a problem. Here's another example. And again, I can go on about examples in film and TV all day. Have you seen Always Sunny in Philadelphia? I adore Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I think it's fantastic. One of the best written and best acted TV shows ever made. I think it's absolutely fantastic. There is an episode, I think it's the end of season 6 or season 7, that takes place entirely within a laser tag arena. They ran out of budget. They totally ran out of budget, and they had to do an episode entirely in one location. That's all they had. So they just went, right, we're going to write this with just actors and just do it here. That's how we're going to work. Have I seen it now? Yes, I have. I've watched most of it, and I think it's fantastic. Limitations and budgets are great, and I think what's happening is massive, huge AAA studios are realizing that they don't have limitations anymore, and so they are not being forced to find the creative solutions that they used to have to come up with. I mean, what happens when a gaming studio refuses to accept working within limitations and instead constantly creeps the scale of its own game? Constant scope creep, constant feature creep. You get some Star Citizen. That's what you get. When a company, when a creative in any industry refuses to accept limitations, you end up constantly reaching for more and more and more and more and more, and never discovering the heart, the honesty, the truth, the genuine passion that will come from overcoming those limitations. That to me is a real shame. Genuinely. It really is. AAA and big budget just means throw more loot boxes in, no limitations needed. Silent Hill 1. They could not render the entire game on the PlayStation hardware. So what did they do? They added in fog. Best choice they made. Limitations. Breeding creativity. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. Yeah. Limitation breeds creativity. Straight up. Right, let's go back to the giant statue, because that wasn't meant to be a thing for that long. And then the remaster removed the fog. Did the remaster... Is this live? It is indeed. Sometimes I actually go to work. Every now and again. Not all the time. You know, most of the times I do the regular YouTube thing of waking up, ordering a Chinese at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, hoping that somebody else better than me has made a video, reacting to it, and then just going to bed. That's it. That's my entire life. The Adventures of Josh Chattington and the Deathtrap Dungeon recap of the adventure so far. Open the box to destroy the NFT note. Perfect vote and play the bouncer instead. Go east, slice a spongy spore boulder, chug the fire-resistant sewer juice. Peekaboo door, grab a rope in case you need to cross a pit by crossing the pit. Punch 2 orcs, open a door, search the naked man and eat his meat. Inspect his alcove, dodge a dart and loot a goblet. Can you please send me that on Discord? Because that is perfect. What is my Chinese order? Thank you. There we go. Now we're asking the real questions. Garlic and honey crispy fried beef with very thin noodles. I have a Discord. Yes, I do. Sometimes I'm even there. Garlic and honey crispy fried beef. Amazing. Absolutely fantastic. It's beautiful. Honestly. Yeah, with thin noodles. I believe they're called... Is that what they're called? Is that the name of the thin noodles? Is the just yell at me and then go and look at the food box? Yes, is it? Okay. Do you want some more of the food? Okay. Is this what you want? This? I can stare off right now. Okay, fine, you win. Don't be behind the rolly chair. I'm terrified because this is a rolly chair and the animals always sit right behind and then I roll back and nearly squish them with the wheels, which is just... You can't be hurting the animals. Yeah, I need you... You're exactly where the food goes. You need to move back. There we go. There's a little pile of food. Excellent. Fantastic. Good stuff. Where is the lid? There it is. I thought those were Cocoa Pops for a moment. Look, if I had Cocoa Pops in a massive thing like this, I would be eating them off the floor. Right? That's how it works. Saved me so much time. So much effort in using the dishwasher. Just pour a pile of Cocoa Pops on the floor and eat them. That's the YouTuber life right there. They look like coffee beans. Where can I get your drip, by the way? Oh, well, it's very, very exclusive drip. You've got to go to any shop that sells white button-down shirts, then any shop that sells grey waistcoats. I mean, personally, that's for me Marks and Spencer's, because I'm just middle class enough to shop at Marks and Spencer's, but not quite middle class enough to yet shop at Waitrose. That's how it works in the UK. Like I'm one step above like Primark, because you've got Primark, then you've got things like Next, Top Man. That's it. That's all I know of that kind of level. Then you go up to like Asda with their George range. Asda are all right. They do some decent stuff. But then you go up to like Marks and Spencer's. That's the top level of middle class. Once you go and you start buying things that are above Marks and Spencer's, that's when you get names of companies that I haven't even heard of. You know, when someone walks up and goes, oh yes, I got this shirt from, and then they just say some random Italian word, and I'm like, I'm 90% sure what you just said is pasta, but I don't know enough to argue about that. Josh shops at Fortnum and Mason's. That kind of thing. Why is it that when you're really rich, you have to have a clothes company with two words that don't seem to connect to each other? They're like, oh yes, I shop at Vera and Cloth. And the reason I came up with that word Vera and Cloth was because I was looking at a bottle of aloe vera and a cleaning cloth, both of which are green and have just green screened themselves out on the camera, and now I look like a fool holding up nothing. Thanks, colour. Okay, but yeah, my outfit came from fettuccine. It did. It came from... I was going to say spaghetti then, but that's quite a common pasta. I think people would understand and realise that maybe I was lying to them at that point. If you say like a posh pasta, people don't know. But if you say a not posh pasta, people will. Like if you walk up and go, yes, I bought my vest from Alfredo and Sons, they won't know what you mean. But if you walk into a huge group of people, you're like, oh yes, my shirt came from Alphabetti Spaghetti, then people might realise that you're taking the piss and actually you did just shop at Primark. Either way. By the way, there is nothing wrong with shopping at Primark, okay? You buy your clothes from there, it's absolutely fine. We are not here to shame people. You buy clothes whenever you want to. Oh my, this is still about pasta. Okay, let's get back to the game. Stop it. We're meant to be playing a game. I'm solving a dungeon here. Not talking about men's fashion. Although I could talk about men's fashion all day, provided that talk only consisted of white button-down shirts and waistcoats. Because beyond that, it is all alien to me. Right, question. Do we climb idol? Or do we not climb the idol? They're the only two choices. That's all you've got. Underwear and t-shirts are Primark. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Now take his jewels. I want to see a stream of Josh exclusively in Cyberdog apparel. Hey, Cyberdog's pretty cool. They've got some cool cyberpunk stuff. Like, I would wear it and I would rock it. I would look good. Good? Good. There we go. My sleeping meds are kicking in. I'm going to go to sleep. Thanks for the entertainment, Josh and chat. Good luck getting through the dungeon. It's okay. Do you want me to do some ASMR? Talk a little bit quieter? It's okay, we'll do some ASMR. There is a large idol in the center of the cavern, standing approximately 6 meters high. It has jeweled eyes, each as big as your fist. There are 2 giant stuffed bird-like creatures standing on either side of the idol. If you wish to climb the idol and take the jewels, turn to 351. Remember, Deathtrap Dungeon is located on the banks of the River Cock. Okay, climb the idol, 55% if you want me to. The idol is very smooth and will be difficult to climb. Do you have any rope? I think we do. I think we jumped over that pit. I think we took that rope. Smooth brain ain't a problem for us. We've got that rope. Up we go. You make the rope into a lasso, whirl it above your head, and throw it at the idol's head, smiling happily as it falls around its neck. You then tighten the noose and start to climb, hauling yourself up by the rope. You are soon at the top of the idol, sitting on the bridge on its nose and holding onto the rope. You draw your sword and wonder which eye to prize out first. Do we prize the left eye or the right eye? What do we do? Paul, which eye? These are the jewels, remember. Right or left? Do we prize the right eye or the left eye? So there's a small pile of cat food on the floor still, little dry kibble, and the dogs are both sat either side of me, flanking me, staring at it, and then up at me, and they know they can't have it. They know they're being good. Apart from Apollo, who is just staring at me with this kind of open smiley face, waiting for me to say a magic command word, which I will not say. What I will, however, do is gently lean down and pick up the little bits of kibble, because that way he can't be eating them. However, one bit did fall out of my hand, and I believe Piper got that bit. Okay, there we go, that's much better. Having 2 choices is not a choice. It literally is. Left or right? Are we going left or right? Don't 50... You... Oh, that was close. It was 63... Okay, 68 to 67. I see we voted for the 68 position. The 68 position, where you sort your partner out and then they owe you one. Hey, there we go. Now it's an adult stream. Now it's a joke. You're welcome. There we go. That's the one joke you get. Left. We are prizing out the left eye. As you touch the idol's emerald eye, you hear a creaking sound below you. Thank you. See, there are some people in the chat laughing at that. I'm glad that you found that funny. Looking down, you are shocked to see 2 stuffed birds flying off. Their wings flap in jerky movements, but they are soon above you and look set to attack. Fight the flying guardians one at a time, but your skill is reduced by 2 during this combat because of your restricted position. Okay, so the 2 stone kind of guardians jumped up into the air, start flying around. We've got 1 eye jewel so far. Fight. Here we go. Easy. Easy. Ooh, not that easy. Pretty close, actually. Do we push our luck? Yes. Yes, we do. We get lucky. We do an extra damage. That... Okay, cool. You are lucky. I'll take that. Now we fight again. That's good. Okay, yep. Do I test my luck again? Yes, I've got a luck potion. That's not good. Okay, do 1... Your hit was just a graze. Do 1 less damage. Fantastic. I need to do... I've got to test my luck on that to try and kill it. There we go. That's good. That's lucky. Remember, luck, you want to roll low. Lower. First Guardian defeated. On to the second Guardian. That is great. Oh, yeah. We'll get this. No problem at all. No problem at all. Just hit them, what, a few more times? 3 more times? Okay, they hit me. Don't worry. It's fine. We're doing okay. 16 to 13. Just got to get a few more hits on them and we're all good. Nothing can defy our sword skills. Can you hit the table for a new roll? Yes, you can. If you roll the dice and then click quickly before they kind of finalize, you're effectively slamming your fist on the table, the dice bounce up and roll again. So you can, but I'm not doing that because I'm an honest man. Apart from that time. Okay? See? That actually was perfect. We both miss. Both miss. See, that's what you get for being dishonest. For slapping the table. You know, you slap around. Apart from that time, which was essential, and now we win. Shut up. A gentleman never slams their fist on the table. We won. Turns 240. Shh. Don't tell anyone. It's fine. Don't tell. No one saw. No. Shh. No one saw. You look down and see the crumpled bodies of the two flying guardians lying motionless on the floor. You start to prise out the idol's emerald eye with the tip of your sword. At last it comes free. You are surprised by its weight when it falls into your hand. Hoping it may be of use later, you put it in your backpack. Do we now prize out the right eye as well? Should we also prize the right eye as well? Are we going to get greedy? Do we also take right eye, or do we leave? Now, I'm not sure what happens if we try and get both. I mean, we've already killed the Guardians. Could be fine. Could be nothing. Could be no problem at all. We could be A-OK. But, what happens if bad things happen? What happens if the statue opens up and we fall in? What happens if we just die? That could happen. Who knows? Take it, you're okay now. Always greed. You guys seem greedy. I don't know if you are the right people for Deathtrap Dungeon. I don't know if I want you on my side here. If we die, you go to bed early. That's true. I'm convinced that some of you are probably open with the Wikipedia walkthrough for the book, but most of you aren't. And unfortunately, because voting is majority, those few of you who know what to do means nothing. Nothing at all. Also, I don't know what the right order for this is. I legitimately, genuinely don't. Also, take the right eye. Let's do it. You try to force the point of your sword under the emerald eye. Much to your surprise, the emerald shatters on contact, releasing a jet of poisonous gas straight into your face. The gas knocks you out, and you release the rope, bounce down the idol, and crash onto the stone floor. Your adventure ends here. The end. Alright, cool. Good job, team. Thank you for joining me for the stream. Thank you for watching the Deathtrap Dungeon Was It Any Good video. The next one of those will probably be a Halloween special.